Hey guys! Hi everyone!
Konnichiwa, o genki desu ka?
Be a part of the national team.
I become a beauty queen.
People that I will meet, the kind of ideas that we get to exchange.
I put on my product.
So I think everyone is good and everyone is special.
I was judged a lot when I was Miss Grand Vietnam.
Also opposed me and then they talk really bad things about me online.
Everything will come true. I believe that nothing is possible. Don't give up on your dream.
But do you ever have any difficulties being known as the girl who can speak, 7 languages?
Well, actually, I don't have any obstacles or hurdles, difficulties. It's all fine. Like, I just got recognized more by the people on the street. And my life still remains unchanged. And I'm still a girl who goes to school daily and have friends. And yeah, actually, it's really great.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned something that I think a lot of our audience will love to hear, and I'm sure you guys are dying to ask the question, is that when you learn a language, it's not just about the grammar, it's not just about the writing, but it's also about how you speak the language. And the more you can sound like a native speaker and speak fluently, the better. And do you agree? And how do you manage to become so fluent? Because talking to you now, you're extremely fluent.
So actually, when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I already had an early approach to foreign films, movies, music from America, England, English-speaking countries in general, Korea, China, other Asian countries. And since then, I've had a huge passion for foreign languages, and it turned me onto the fact that I could really pursue languages as a hobby. I remember one quote by Nelson Mandela is that, if you speak to a man in a language that he understands, that goes to his head, but if you speak to him in his language, that goes to his heart. And it just makes me love language more on a daily basis, and that's how I started.
Many months later.
Hey guys, I'm Chen Kangbi, and today I proudly present to you a piece of news, which is I'm gonna join IELTS Face-Off in IELTS on the Go as one of the 2 hosts.
Nice. I'm so excited to get started with you because you're only 13 and a half, right?
Yes.
You're turning 14 at the end of this year.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you received an 8.0 on your first try at the IELTS. How did you manage to do that?
It started out like 2 years ago. That is the first time that I knew about IELTS. And I was very worried that I will not do very well in the test. So I tried my best and put all of my will to practice and prepare for the exam.
Can you define for me what did trying your best and put all of your best effort into it? What does that mean?
I spent a lot of time to expand my vocabulary and also really fix my grammar, so that I will don't do any silly mistake during the test. And also it most tense time that I've ever been through in my life.
Now tell me a bit about yourself, because in Vietnamese we have a saying, con nhà người ta, the other family's kids, right? Do you ever feel like you're one of those other family's kids, or do your parents talk about other family's kids?
Yeah, sometimes they talk to me as though I'm a parent's kid, like a kid in dreams. But I think those kids don't exist, because everyone has the disadvantages and advantages. Like this man can be good at math or in science, but they are bad in social studies, they're bad in literature. So that's a lot more to learn and to fix up. So I think everyone is good and everyone is special.
That's great. It seems like you have a really good relationship with other students.
I'm an extrovert, so I interact with people from my school very much. I interact with them every day, I talk with them every day. I always want to make new friends.
Grace is always a great quality to have. Grace and respect and, the ability to appreciate everybody for who they are, I think are always positive and amazing qualities to have.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite books, the books that you use to actually help you on this journey?
Talk about books, we have Stumbling on Happiness of Daniel Gilbert, and also How We Fall in Love of Helen Fisher. I think both of the books are great.
Now, do you think all of your achievements, right, up until this point are kind of like decorative items? Or do you think they are fundamental to who you are as a person?
Yeah, I think it is important to create who I am right now. But I think the most important of them all is that I have friends, not just achievements. My friends shape who am I. Because like, if I don't have any friends or my best friends betrayed me, like that, so I would be lonely and my achievements will like lower down or don't have any achievement at all. So friends and other relationships in your life is a big impact on your life too.
You have amazing pronunciation.
Oh, thank you.
And were you a born speaker? Were you born with this sort of accent, or how did you manage to get this pronunciation skills going?
A lot of people have asked me about the way that I studied English, and some even say that I had the very natural talent, to speak English, but I have to say that nothing was born naturally. I remember a quote from Margaret Thatcher that I was not lucky, I deserve it. So with this quote, I think it is similar to my case. For my speaking ability, I had to practice a lot. I had to train myself a lot, and most of them are through YouTube videos and self-practice at home. And from that, I can improve myself more and more.
So you mentioned Margaret Thatcher here.
Yes.
Now, this is something we are in the same boat on. I'm a big fanboy of Margaret Thatcher too, because she's English. She was the first ever female Prime Minister of the UK. Found out that she was not actually born with her public speaking ability. In fact, she was rather nervous in public and she didn't have a great voice, so she had to train to do that. So do you guys share this in common? How did you manage to overcome your difficulties at first?
I don't find myself can be compared to Margaret Thatcher. It's maybe something that we share the same, is that we do not have, the natural talents to do something. We're not born with that, but we have to practice and we have to train ourselves. Yes. And during my process of learning, there were a lot of difficulties. I come from Harbin, and it is a mountainous area. So I do not have, the very easy access to foreigners or to English center. So the only way that I had to practice English was through YouTube and through the internet. And I listened to a lot of different shows. At first, I didn't understand anything and found myself very, very difficult. But then my parents encouraged me a lot. Yes, and then I find that English is another way for me to express myself. So why not?
Do you have any person that you would recommend to people who want to improve their English? Who's your inspiration?
My inspiration, of course, Margaret Thatcher. And I was, very attracted and impressed with her public speakings. And also, I recommend Oprah Winfrey Show and The Ellen Show. Right. They are, very great show, very attractive, and even Oprah Winfrey is, among the most admired women in the U.S. and also in the world. So therefore, these are the show and people that I think we should follow in order to improve our English speaking skill.
Of these things, right? But what do you consider the most fun? And do you ever fight with your family? Do you ever fight with your parents?
Well, a lot, I must say. I often fight with my family when there was a problem with, for example, they won't allow me to go to school on my own, on my bicycle. They just want to take me there. And I know because for the sake of my safety, they must do that. But sometimes I do want to break free from them. And also the so-called wars between like ideas and what is wrong, what is right. I don't control my speech. Like sometimes I say things that the social network can exploit from that and then turn their back on me or something.
Mm-hmm. So what's
they can criticize me for what I say.
What's one thing that you say that can be criticized by others?
Well, definitely the thing about the political views, and I won't get really deep into that, but complicated situation of the society. And there are some people who also support me on my political view, but some also oppose me, and then they talk really bad things about me online.
That's interesting. And what does your family say? Or what advice do they give you when there are people bad-mouthing you online?
They say that I must keep silence online. Like, online isn't the place you have to control yourself.
So hi Ming, how is it going?
Nice, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. You really learned how to read at a young age, at 16 and a half months old?
I was told that by my parents.
Did you ever feel special growing up?
At a young age, I did feel a little bit special, and due to that, I tried to separate myself from my friends, my classmates. But as I grow, I realized that I'm just a normal boy as other people. Therefore, I try to be more outgoing and like to communicate and to open more with my classmates.
People call you the Google boy.
Yeah.
Do you identify with that term?
Well, there are a lot of Google boys around the world.
Google boys.
And I don't think that I can be identified with that term. I also don't think that I'm suitable for that term because Google, like a big sea of knowledge and information. What I know is like a tiny drop of water in that ocean. I don't think that I'm very suitable for the term the Google boy.
When it comes to being independent, the mind must overcome whatever is around you or us. And I think our guest today has really made a big decision to be her own independent person as well as to be her own independent thinker, regardless of potentially how her peers may think or regardless of how society might tend to think. So I'm very excited today to be able to actually shed a little bit of light into her thoughts and what her views and opinions on the world as well as her independence is. So thank you, Tonu, for coming by.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, your name is actually very unique. You know,
Yes.
a lot of the times it's people's surname, but for you it's your first name. Can you tell us a little bit more about why your parents gave you this name?
Well, when my father named me Tonu, he wasn't thinking about the surname, he was thinking about the meaning of the word Tonu, which is basically granddaughter or female descendant. So he gave me the name Nguyễn Đình Tonu, basically to tell me and remind me that regardless of where I am, I carry my name with me and thus carry my family history with me. I will always be the granddaughter of my family.
And you know, with regards to independent, what's more important to you, right? Is it the memorabilia of thought or is it memorabilia of things?
Perhaps of thoughts. I feel thoughts to be something much more personal because things can be manufactured by someone else. They have an external origin, but for thoughts, I feel them to be much more internal and much more personal.
That's great. And when you found out that you got into Harvard, are you excited about Harvard or do you think this is kind of like a burden that you have to drag along with you?
Both, actually. Both. Because I feel like I've been given such a tremendous gift, and whenever you're given a gift, you also feel a sense of indebtedness. I feel very much indebted to Harvard. At the same time, I acknowledge that it is like a magnificent opportunity, really, truly beautiful. Like, I can't even begin to imagine the people that I will meet, the kind of ideas that we get to exchange. Whatever it is I want to do, whatever I'm passionate about, whether it is changing the education system or to write poetry or make films, Harvard has the people and the resources for it. It feels like being given a genie, you know, that grants you all the wishes. That's what it feels like for me.
Sometimes the name that your parents give you means a lot of good things, but it can also be an obstacle to your career. My real name means perfect, and everyone can expect the same thing from my name. Sometimes it's an over-expectation from everybody, and it makes me feel really nervous, and I feel anxious all the time because I'm not perfect. So I decided to change my name into the fruit that I really like, which is orange.
So it was the fruit, it's not the color.
It's the fruit and also the color. I think orange is the color that gives me luck.
Did you see that you've received a lot of luck from the time that you changed your name?
Right after I changed my name, I got, which is Người Lạ Ơi. So I think it's definitely lucky.
It's a fantastic song. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, ever since you participated in all of those competitions, you participated in 2 competitions in total, and you won one of them, but you only released your song like a lot later. Why was the time so long?
Actually, the show that I won is an imitation show. So actually, the audience didn't get to hear my real voice and see the real me. And at the time, I thought I wasn't good enough. I didn't know what my true genre is. I didn't know which style suited me best. So yeah, I decided to wait for another 2 years to find my true self. And then when I was completely ready, I put on my products.
When you say that you weren't so confident, what were you not confident about?
Actually, I'm always not a confident person.
Got a very big mouth, but don't say a thing. Said if body could be good to you, you need a bag to blow your mind.
Damn! Recall your first experience watching the Vietnamese national football team play, and what was it like for you to see that game?
I think it was emotional in a way because I never really knew much about my culture and my people, so watching them and seeing them succeed in SEA Games and in the Asian Cup, watching them do well, it really made me proud of who I am. And I've never really felt that way before, so it was really interesting to me.
So I recently found out too that you put on the Vietnamese national football team shirt on for the first time. Yeah. How did it feel? Did it fit?
Of course, it fit really well. It was surreal to me because one of my goals coming here was obviously to be a part of the national team and stuff like that. So I didn't think it would come this quick, but I'm very proud. I remember when I stepped out on the pitch, I was really proud and a bit emotional because I didn't expect it to happen so quickly.
Tell us a little bit about maybe your journey towards the national team for anybody who's young and really passionate about football. How do you get into the national team?
That's a tough question. Well, I think if you want to put it simply, you play well, you put on performances, and if you're consistent, the right people will notice. I think obviously that's with everything in life as well, in any job or work environment.
Back to your English journey. I think you're going to be, I know that you are doing a lot of community work for the young, but I also know that many youths in Vietnam will look up to you because you can speak English and you can do it very well. How do you see, the language being a tool for you to live your life or to help the community?
Well, I think the main purpose of a language is to communicate and connect people with each other. So when I start learning English, one of the reasons why I learn English is that I want to communicate with foreign friends so that I can understand more cultures. And beside that, after I become a beauty queen, I think that it could help me on my beauty with purpose journey. As I can call for some assistance from outside of Vietnam so that they can help the underprivileged in our country.
The message that you want to send to most people, because I think you think about that as Miss Grand International, reaching out to other people, younger people. What are you trying to say? What do you want to tell?
I think my message is already shown on the stage of Miss Grand International. I already told that I want to motivate people dare to dream, dare to follow their dream, and don't be scared of being judged. I was judged a lot when I was Miss Grand Vietnam. They say that I couldn't make it. I've just top 5 Miss Vietnam. How will I do that? My face is my face is normal. My body is normal. My height is not good compared to the Latinx girls. Oh yeah. You see, on the way to success, there's no roses, of course. So there will be a lot of churches. There will be a lot of things can be this obstacle for your path. So just be ready for it and work through it. Everything will come true. I believe that nothing is possible. Don't give up on your dream. That's it.
Earlier today, I was in another interview, and I got to speak a little bit about how Generation Z, Gen Z, is kind of a generation where we start to open up about our shortcomings, and we start to open up about our mental health issues and the struggles that we feel together, but we don't acknowledge fully because we want to save face, and we have a fear of that judgment. And I feel as Miss Grand International, your voice on these topics are very important. And I see that you are very public, very, very strong-worded about your, striving for success. And I think that is a very big generational breakthrough.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.